Hello everyone, Tim here, and welcome to my group critique video of attendees to my recent February workshop. As you know, those that regularly attend my events, every month we tackle different scenes in watercolor, landscape, street scenes, seascapes, and this time I responded to a few requests I've had from attendees, regular attendees, to do a nighttime scene or a nocturne. And I thought I'd choose this quite simple scene, simplish scene. More on that in a minute. So just a recap. I run these every month. They're open to everyone. There's a very affordable small fee to attend, and then you get to be on my live online demo, or you can watch the recording as many times as you want to, and then you submit your painting for this group video where I will go through and give a short feedback on everyone's paintings that I've submitted. Not everyone submits their painting, which I quite understand, but those that do, I group them together and then just go through them one by one and give my 2 cents worth of feedback on them, things that went well and maybe things that maybe could be improved on. I will be looking at composition. Being a nighttime scene, we want to look at how convincing it is as a nighttime scene with the sky and the shadows. Being a street scene, we've got lots of sort of street lights and shadows and lights being shone in different directions. We've got a figure, we've got a bit of perspective to deal with, and also be looking at some sort of creative spin on it as well. All right, just a little recap of our source photo, a nighttime scene, quite a simple scene. And I handled it in different segments. So from a process point of view, let me just explain what I mean. So those of you that attended will know what I mean. So I did that part first, the sky. So I drew out everything, of course, and then I painted that bit first, then that bit, and then all of this bit here. And then it was down to the details and the shadows. That was my process. You don't need to follow me on the process. It's very much up to you how you handle it. And we will, as we go through the attendees' photos, you will see a number of different techniques shown as regards how they went about this particular nocturne nighttime scene. Me, I decided to exclude a few things. It's quite a complex middle ground there with, looks like pampas grass or some exotic grasses there in that middle ground. So I simplified that area, simplified the architecture on the left-hand side, this municipal building here. We've got the street light, the main street light here. There's a secondary street light just up there behind this tree, and that's creating some nice diagonal shadows there. It was all about, the workshop was all about edges as well. Edges in watercolor, always very important. So we've got for example, got a soft edge there, and then we've got harder edges. Where have we got a harder edge? Well, there's a hard edge there, hard edge on the sides of the church, maybe softer edges down here. But this shadow here, it starts off with a hard edge, then goes softer edge. But it's slightly confusing because you've got that other light. There's light number 2 there, light number 1 there, and so it's sort of crisscrossing each other. We've got a bit of perspective as well with the detail on the road there, that line of slabs, and there's a line going there as well. Quite an interesting thing. It's quite a nice angle as well because it sort of leads you into the scene. We've got a simple figure walking away, or we could have it walking towards us, but always great to have a figure in a street scene for scale, a little bit of interest, could be a focal point as well. I decided to remove the car. Though I do know some people put it in. And then the other dimension is the church lit up there on the right-hand side, and a nice sort of warm glow of that church. I guess there's lights to the, well, it looks like let's zoom in, looks like there's lights below shining up the side, and then up on the roof there, there's light shining on the next level of the church up, and then that bell tower. And then of course we've got that nighttime sky. What's the color of a nighttime sky? With a watercolor painting, we don't want to paint it jet black, do we? So we want to try and get a little bit inventive, a little bit creative with the dark colors we use for that sky, possibly darker at the top and then a little bit lighter towards the horizon, and then getting a soft glow. That's the other important thing, talking about going back to edges again, the soft glow around that artificial light source there, the street light there, with possibly being a sort of antique style lamp, the detail of the frame around the light. Yeah, so that was our challenge, that nighttime scene. First of all, then, my painting from the workshop, and I'm fairly happy with it as regards the composition and the light source there. Although that light looks like it's sort of dangling in the middle. Maybe, with the benefit of hindsight, there could have been perhaps some kind of a support there, maybe something black, or maybe the impression of some sort of frame around the light, just to sort of make that a little bit more believable, that light source. But I got a nice soft edge around it. The sky itself came out all right. As you remember, I used a combination of ultramarine blue and burnt sienna and a little bit of alizarin crimson to get that. Could have tied up a little bit around the church. Zoom in. That little bit of almost a little bit lightness around the top of the church here, the spire. So that could have been tied up, but darken that top right corner, going a little bit lighter down towards the left-hand corner of the sky. The architecture came out all right. I think I got the colour. It was a French scene, French town, so I've got the colour of the walls right. Maybe could have gone a little bit warmer with that wall, but that soft edge there, perhaps I could have gone a little bit darker with the shadow, a little bit more of a definition of that shadow line, which would have been going across there. Quite interestingly, sort of cutting out a little bit of that window. Foliage, we had the tree top left, and then the leaves and foliage silhouetted against the light background, and then this bush here, the top edge catching the light from the secondary light source. Shadows, soft edge, perspective with let's come back out a bit, perspective with the detail on the road. Yeah, that's come out to the right. I had the figure coming towards me, and edges, hard edge near the figure, and then going a little bit softer, a little bit lighter with the shadow there, and also with the shadows perspective. So we've got that angle there, that planter throwing a shadow into the darkness there, something throwing another shadow, the building here maybe throwing another shadow. Then we got light, then we got the church. Could have gone maybe a little bit more of a glow with the church, but it's all right. I don't want it to sort of stand out too much. I wanted the focal point to be around here, and then getting the steps right as well. Need a steady hand just to make sure they look believable there. Yeah, so that's my painting. Let's go through the attendees then. First up then, Andrew, I should say, before I start going through them one by one, of course, the photos of the paintings were taken by the attendees themselves, and they'll have all sorts of different devices and cameras and lighting conditions. So please be excused as we go through. They may not be a true representation of the colours or how light or how dark that painting is in reality. And there may be a little bit of a border around some of them, but just ignore that, all right, as we go through. Right, Andrew. So I'm going to go through composition, nighttime, is it a convincing nighttime scene, and then different watercolor techniques, and the nighttime sky, and the shadows we've got, and perspective, figures, and any other sort of creative element you might have put in there. I quite like that sky. It's very sort of, it's lighter, and we've got a bit of a feeling of a sort of nighttime storm going on. With the light source, maybe have you used a little bit of, you use a bit of white gouache maybe for that, Andrew. That's all right. It takes a bit of practice to pull it off. It is another option to use for that artificial light source. I used negative painting, and I pre-wet the paper, so I got that soft edge. And you can also make sure that you can do a little bit of lifting off to get a slightly harder edge around that light source. But that was the way I chose. You could use masking fluid, masking tape, body paint here as well. Yeah, so there's a few different techniques for getting that light source. Tree could have been a little bit darker up there. Got a nice building here on the left, nice bush shadows. Figure is perfectly placed there. Maybe the shadow could be a little bit longer, possibly, because your figure's quite large. Maybe the shadow could come down maybe there somewhere and just, widen it out. That shadow as well could it be a little bit longer, possibly. But overall, a really nice painting. I do like that sky though. Thanks very much, Andrew. And did I skip one? No. Right. Anthony. Yes, the figure really stands out there, right in the centre. Looks like a female figure to me. Nice composition then. Good, well done with the sky. The light looks a little bit, yeah, we've got a bit of a light source and it goes a little bit darker. Maybe whatever you use there, Anthony, I reckon that, so if I could explain. So we've got the edge of the light there, the light source there, and then within it, it's got a little bit darker. Not sure why. You'll know why, but maybe try and keep it as light as possible, just to get that maximum effect. Or go darker. Go darker with the sky. Church is nicely painted. Maybe the base of the church there. The base of the church could be about there. Looks like it's a little bit low. So that'd be the church there. And this here is all kind of the street in front of the municipal building. Brilliant figure. Well done with the building. You picked up on that, those little sort of lines of shading down that building. Good job with the foliage as well, bottom left hand corner, the edges, nice shadow. Just be careful of don't overwork it too much with the deep shade. Yeah, it's really nice. I love the planters. That figure's fantastic. Yes, you've certainly got a sense of movement with that figure. Thanks, Anthony and Barb. Good. We were missing now. Just a little point. I think Barb, it's a beautiful, bright, bold watercolor. But with that church, I just think it will look better if it was just a little bit below. You've got the top of the church there just being cut off the paper. And sometimes I think it works, sometimes not. I think it would look a bit better if it's just a little bit, tiny bit lower. Oh, you got the car in, well done. Superb car. Yeah, well done with the car. It certainly looks like it's in the shade there. The figure, brilliant. A hooded figure coming towards us, or yeah, it looks like it's coming towards us actually. Perfectly placed, and the shadow just right length of shadow. Oh, you've got the secondary. You picked up on that second lighter shadow coming from that secondary light source. So we've got light source number 1, which is brilliant, and then light source number 2. Yeah, very effective. The foliage here, top left corner, brilliant. Nice warm colour for the building. Bit of texture on the masonry as well, base of the building. Yeah, and that sky, that's the wash for the sky is really well executed, nice and flat. No brush marks, brilliant. Nicely sort of painted around those lighter areas as well. Yeah, thank you, Barb. And next is Ben. Oh, very dark. Yeah, you've got, so you push the darkness there, Ben. It's come out really well, and that sort of glow immediately. We're looking around this area here. Nice color also for. There's all sorts of colors going on there in the masonry, the pinks and yellows. Brilliant. You've got a bit. Oh, you've done a bit of splattering before, I think, but the splattering of the white. I'm not sure if that works here, unless it was snow or a bit of rain or something like that. Church nicely placed. Good job with the perspective as well, and the edges. Yes, and the sky. Let's see if we can zoom into the sky. Sky, lovely done. Nice bit of light hitting the corner of the top of the church, the steeple there. A little bit messy with the light. Not sure, can't really tell. Maybe it's that you've negatively painted around that, and you've got a bit of white paint for the rays coming out from the light. But it looks standing back. It looks like a light source anyway. Yeah, thank you, Ben. Excellent. And Buck. I like the blue of that nighttime sky against the glow of the church. You've got the colour of that church, the warm glow of the church. Perfect. Nice composition. Well done with the light source as well. Looks like you might have used a little bit of body paint, white gouache, but that's really well painted, that light source there, and then the building on the left. I like the way you've done your foliage with the sort of rounded, not the sort of pointed leaves, but the little sort of rounded shapes that we've got to the clumps of leaves and the little holes, little gaps in the canopy. And then likewise with the shrub down there at the bottom left-hand corner. Good job with the shadows. Let's look at perspective is very good indeed with the detail on the street there. The figure, yeah, really good figure coming towards us. Maybe could have gone a little bit darker, possibly with the shadow on the figure. Yeah, really, really well done. Nicely done, Buck. Thank you. Did I skip one? No. Camille, let's just zoom in. As I explained, some people's, there'll be different sizes of photos, resolutions and so on. Right, because Camille's is a little bit of a small size photo, as I zoom in, I'm a little bit out of focus, so apologies for that, everyone. But a lovely nighttime scene, nice composition. You've got the horizon maybe a little bit lower. Not sure if there's a tiny bit of a lean. Oh, I reckon I know what it is. That's the bottom of your page there. So we've got a little bit of we need to adjust it. So imagine we're turning it slightly in a clockwise direction, and then everything is going to be vertical. Right, that sky is perfect. Looks like a bit of a storm coming through, bit of light there. The light source brilliant. Nice warm colour to the walls. Perhaps we could have gone a bit darker with the tree here, and also with the tree. Now, I guess you could get away with a tree like that in a municipal setting where it's nicely clipped, all right? So it's nice sort of symmetrical shape, lollipop type shape, but try and get a little bit more natural edge to that tree there. And also with the tree trunk, I think it should have sort of disappeared with the bush in front as well. So the tree trunk comes down, disappears into that shrub, and then we've got the shrubby bit there, and then the shadow coming from that. Figure is brilliant. A nice slim figure. Maybe you could make more of a feature of the arms as well. But maybe, even if it's just one arm, have the arm coming out so it suggests a bit more movement. Perspective is very good. Yeah, excellent perspective. Well done, Camille. I do like that sky, though. Fantastic. Well done. Let's get to the next one. Christy. Oh, we've got 3 figures. Nice. That church really stands up against the darkness of the sky. Right, let's Pick this one. So nice composition. That window is nicely done as well. Oh, you got the second window in to the left there, but sort of negatively painting around the white frame of that window. It takes a bit of patience. Nice composition, nice execution of the sky, the glow of the light as well. Let's just zoom in there. Have you used a little bit of white gouache? But I like the way you've got nice soft edges. We've got the immediate, the stronger bit of light there. And then we've got a sort of secondary ring there. And then we're into gradually going darker from that outer ring. The planters look great, steps brilliant, nicely done. And the perspective, fantastic. Figures have come out really well. Yeah, it's always good to have a group of figures there. Sense of movement also. Nice definition on the edge of the foliage. Yep, well done, Christy. And Eileen. Oh, no, the Eileen's taken a photo at a slight angle, so just so I think we need to try and sort of compensate for that a little bit. But nice composition. Could have gone a bit darker with the sky. Maybe yours could be, it could be excused as be maybe more early evening. All right, a little bit of a sort of dusk type scene, early evening scene. But it's nice that the light source there as well with the holding there of the lamp, the bracket. That's the word I was looking for. The bracket against the wall. Perspective, right? Perspective. Yes, we just need to be a little bit narrower there, and then come out a little bit wider. So that's good. That's the good width there. But just go in a little bit narrower with that line there, and likewise here. If we do our first line there, then the next line further out starts narrow, and then come out here, and also the lines the other way. Imagining this a flat surface. Now that line's all right, but that one there is going up a little bit too much. So we want to, they might go up a little bit left from bottom left to top right, a tiny bit, the way the angle we are at, but try and get them a little bit more horizontal. What else have we got? So the figure is very good indeed. Good figure, good tree as well. I would make sure you go right up to the edge of the paper as well. So a little bit darker right at the top there. But nice tree, bush, good edges on the shadows. Church, really well painted and executed. Yep, well done, Eileen. Fazia, again, photo taken at a slight angle, but just try and bear that in mind. Nice composition. And Fazia is our colour queen, so we're going to try and identify all the different pigments and colours used here, a wide range of greens. But nice composition. Not sure if, going to the light source there, not sure if drawing the kind of frame of the lamp makes it look any better, but I would, certainly the bottom of it, yeah, get the bottom bit in, but where maybe the top bit, you might have more of a glow there, so you wouldn't see the top part of the frame possibly. But generally, a nice light source, you got the nice soft edge around that. Nice nighttime sky as well, dark on the right-hand side. That's the perfect colour, with lots of gorgeous colours in that church. A little bit of a red there, yellowy orange, browns for the roof. Yeah, lots of lovely colours. The green there. These are some gorgeous greens here. That dark green there, that's a good colour for like a mid-green for foliage. Nice edge there. A little bit blueness on the right-hand side. That there is a beautiful study of a planter with the light coming from the left, that sort of warmish green on the left, cooler green on the right. Likewise with the terracotta planter. Good figure, perspective. Maybe with perspective could have could have exaggerated that a little bit more, so a little bit narrower in the distance there, Fazia. So again, like the previous one, just extend it out a little bit more, all right, with the perspective, because that's almost the way you've done it. It's almost parallel. The lines going that way, they're right. They're all good. Yeah, they're excellent. But I would just try and extend it out just a little bit. It's difficult to tell with your photo being on a little bit of a slanted angle. But yeah, brilliant. Love the sky. Yeah, it looks like. Did you use a bit of splattering in that sky? It's very effective. Right, thanks, Fazia. And Fritz, nice composition. Or you've got the car in. You've been very creative with the swapping out of a few little bits and pieces in front of the building, and a bit more light on the buildings here immediately in front, or between the municipal building and the church. So nice composition. Not sure the perspective, that light looks a little bit twisted in a way. If I zoom in, that light would look all right if the other edge was there and this was the sort of underneath of the light. But again, like Fazia's, I think we might see the arm of the bracket a little bit, but yeah, this area here, we kind of lose that with the light. But lovely light. Look at the expressive atmosphere of the line coming from that light source. Not sure how you've done that, lifting off or a little bit of body paint, but that line there, this edge here, very nice indeed. Yeah, a bit of an unfortunate blob there, but doesn't matter. I always think with a blob like that, can you make it into something? Maybe top of a post or something like that, or a flag coming out from being a municipal building. Maybe there's a flag coming out. Right, going back to the building, nice building. Your foliage is very nice indeed. I like the soft edges around the edge of the canopy. Nice greens as well. Bit of splattering, lots of different techniques on show. That's a nice, however you've done that mark there, Fritz, that is fantastic. This sort of semicircular mark there and the dark lines going towards it. In fact, the colours you've got there, they're just right for a French building. Nice hooded figure. Shadow could be a little bit wider, perhaps, coming down towards us. I like the way that you've taken the car shadow away and you've added different elements to a bit of splattering. You've gone a little bit darker here and then a bit darker there. With the car, I think the wheels stand out a little bit too much. I would say lose those hubs, just make them all dark, all right? They just sort of stand out just a little bit too much. Is it a police car? Maybe it's a police car. Church, all good as well. Yeah, we don't see the end of it, doesn't matter. Yeah, but it's nicely placed. Yeah, you've got more of you've got 3 windows in of the building. Brilliant. And like Christie, you've nicely done a bit of negative painting around that. Yeah, well done, Fritz. Helga, nice and dark. Oh no, I reckon Helga's photo is a little bit dark. I bet her painting in reality is a little bit lighter than this. Beautifully done. Nice composition. Maybe the figure could be just a tiny bit taller, possibly. Not sure. But it's a nice figure. That light, really well done. Yeah. Yours has come out a little bit like mine. And I don't know whether, Helga, you think, oh, could we have a little bit more of the light, of the frame of the light showing into the bottom of it or the top? But actually, yours looks better than mine. Nice nighttime sky, little bit of lightness here where there could be some clouds, maybe picking up some light from the town below. Church, yeah, fantastic. Perspective-wise, or maybe that side could be a little bit. Could it be a little bit wider? Possibly. Perspective. Let's look at perspective. Perspective, very good there. But this right-hand side needs to come out a little bit wider again. Yep, so far, most people have got that side right as regards perspective, but this one here, for a few of you, it's gone sort of almost parallel. So just try and, I think it would look better, slightly exaggerated, and then you're forcing the viewer in on that line there into the figure or the area in front of the building. The building itself done really well. Maybe could have gone a little bit darker with the shadow above the building there, but beautifully done. The foliage as well. Great figure. Fantastic painting. Well done, Helga and Jean. No, slight disclosure here. Jean used, I can remember here this one. Jean used dark paper or black paper and then used a bit of gouache, opaquely done. And it's actually come out really well. I was surprised. I've never painted on any paper other than light white paper. And but this has come out really well. That's a nice approach to going quite opaquely, I guess, with mostly gouache, but it's come out really well. Not so sure about that blob there, Jean, but you know where we're looking through the tree, we can see a little bit of the wall, but everything else is brilliant. The building perhaps could have gone a little bit darker with the shadow up there. The glow of the church, that's come out really well, and that's just the right sort of warm orangey, that really warm glow of that church. The planters as well, lovely green. The hooded figure with the shadow could have been a little bit darker. With that shadow, we've gone a little bit sort of like a mid grey. So, and also if that's the curb there, we wouldn't. So shadow comes out a little bit from the figure, then it stops, and then it reappears here, and maybe with perspective comes out a little bit. But yeah, go a little bit darker here, I would say. Perspective, yeah, it's good. Yeah, maybe could have gone a little bit wider there, possibly tiny bit, but perspective good. I do like the texture on that building. That comes out, working with gouache, it comes out really well. That yellow and bit of coolness there. The window. Yeah, the light source. Yeah, there we are. A vote certainly would get my vote for dark paper. Well done, Jean. And Joe. Right, nice composition. With the church tower. So perspective is good. Perspective good. Try and get a straighter line there, Joe, of the street. Right, there's a tiny bit of a curve going on there, but that perspective is all right. With the church and the church tower, if we've got that side there, that's all good, but we want to go a little bit longer there, I reckon, and then the right-hand side would just come down, disappear behind the ridge of the roof, and then likewise we would take that would make that look a little bit more symmetrical, I think, if you see what I mean. With that window as well, try and get that middle. So with the window, try and get the middle frame. There we go. I got it wrong. The middle frame. The frame in the middle. Sky, really well done. The light source, yeah, brilliant. The faint sort of impression of the bracket and the frame there. Nice colour on that building. Yellow, cool as well. Foliage, brilliant. With that figure, the top part of the figure looks right. I'm not sure if the bottom part we need longer legs. I'm trying to work out. So we got the side. I always look at the size of the head. So we put the head in first, and then think, well, what proportions do we need for the body? And yeah, maybe the body needs to be a little bit like that. So I would lose that bit. I'm not sure. That's obviously like a trailing leg or something like that. Maybe that leg, could be longer. Could be longer. And then we've got the right leg. So left leg, right leg, and then have a little bit of shadow coming out from there. So this would all be light there, if you see what I mean. Perspective is generally good though. Yeah, it's all right. Nice soft edges to the shadows. Yeah, well done, Joe. Thank you. And Justin. Oh, I do like paintings always look better with a little white border around them, so it shows it off really well. Good job with the composition. Perspective is generally good. Yeah, with that window, not sure, it looks a little bit skew with. Could it be better? It's sort of, yeah, the way it's sort of touching the top of the shadow there. I reckon, Justin, that window is a little bit higher. That would look better. Anyway, putting that aside, lovely sky, fantastic sky. The light source could be a little bit brighter. You've gone for more of a yellow glow around it. That's all right. Good figure. Plants as well. Perspective. Let's look at perspective. Yep, perspective is all right. Maybe could just do a little bit wider at the bottom there, and then these lines here, just have them a little bit slightly more horizontal. Nice texture on the road. Church nicely done as well. Maybe could have gone for a little bit more of a sort of pointy top to that church. But good colour to it as well. Yeah, very nice. I love the colour that you've got for the building. That's a really nice sort of warmish sort of masonry colour. Nice glow around the figure as well. The planters. Yeah, brilliant. Well done, Justin. Liliana. Nice composition. Might be a little bit of a lean on the church. There, it sort of leans a little bit to the right, and that maybe that planter as well. Everything else on the left-hand side is just right, but nice composition. That sky, lovely sky. Again, a feeling like a few others, a feeling of a little bit of cloud up in the sky, catching the light. Nice light source. Maybe use a little bit of gouache there, doesn't matter at all. Nice planters. Figure is very good. With the figure, not sure if we have that light, just that light line, the gap between the two legs. Not sure if we would need that with the legs. Or maybe it would start a little bit lower down if the right leg is catching the light from the secondary light source. Maybe there would just be a little bit of light there, catching the lower part of the leg. But nice movement with the figure, good shadows, perspective. Yeah, perspective, you could have pushed it a little bit. On the right-hand side here, just go a little bit wider, just a tiny bit wider there. Your foliage is brilliant. I particularly like your shrub here. That's come out really well. That green, especially the green. So you've gone in with a bit of body paint, bit of thick paint there, to get that light on the top part of the shrub. That's a lovely green. Nice brush work here, nice brush marks. Yeah, well done, Liliana, thank you. And Linda. Nice composition. I like the way it looks like you've done a little bit of lifting off to get those soft shapes, the soft edges around certain shapes, like the bushes there, the two planters catching light. That little bit of softness there, it's getting a soft edge. Yeah, very effective. So nice composition, nicely executed. From a composition point of view, the sky looks brilliant, nice glow around the light. Looks like You might have drawn in a little bit of the lamp there. Don't really need that, but nice glow of that light. The building on the left as well. Maybe could have gone a little bit darker with the shadow on the top. Yours come up a little. Yours come up a little bit like mine, Linda. Haven't gone dark enough at the top there. Nice tree on the left, and the foliage just the right kind of value. Then the shrub down below, and perspective is good. Good figure. With the figure and with the face, I think being nighttime and the light sources behind the figure, maybe we wouldn't see the actual skin color. I would have gone all dark with that figure, but it's a great figure. The arms, bit of sense of movement, really good. Yeah, well done, Linda. And Margaret, nice sort of soft glow. Oh, you got the car in, well done. And this car certainly looks like it's nestling there in the shadows. Right, nice composition. Perspective is very good indeed. The colours, you haven't gone for that bright sort of orange for the church. That's come up really well. With the sky, looks like with your brush marks, you've been using lots of horizontal marks. Maybe just to get a flatter wash, maybe if you'd have possibly pre-wet the paper, not sure if you did, Margaret, but just to get in a little bit, just to lose those very faint horizontal lines there. But other than that, it's really good. Into the light, nice light source. Excellent. The building on the left, that's fantastic with the frame around it. You've done a bit of lifting off with the rays coming down. That's a nice idea. Your tree has come up really well on there. That's a lovely green as well. And the edge of the really nice natural edge of the foliage. And you've gone darker. You've gone darker with the tree on the left. Perfect figure. Oh, like Barb, you've caught with a secondary source of light. Nice perspective. That's nice with the house in the shadow there in the middle of the car park. Bit of coolness on that top right corner. Yeah, well done, Margaret. Thank you. And Mark. Nice composition. Perspective-wise is good. Could have gone a little bit wider here and narrower with the, just a little bit. Like Ben, you've done a little bit of splattering. It's actually, Ben's was over here on the left-hand side, wasn't it? But you've gone a little bit more over a wider area. Yeah, so let's backtrack. Nice composition. The skies come out really well. Maybe could have gone a bit lighter with the light source. You've gone a little bit too dark. You've got to watch it with gouache. I guess you can add in a little bit of yellow to a white gouache, but it's always a little bit risky. It going dark as it dries, goes darker. But lovely sky. The building on the left, brilliant. The tree as well, the light coming through the tree, the shrub, the shadow coming down in that bottom left-hand corner, the figure. Actually, that's a really good figure, Mark. That's one of your best figures, I reckon. Really good. Nice car in the shade there. Church has come up all right. Not sure about the steeple. It looks like a bit not too symmetrical. And you got some sort of rounded corners to it. Try and get your best pointed brush to get like a bit of a definition, a sharp edge to the corners of the rooftop. Yeah, well done, Mark. And next up is Mike. What a lovely scene. I do like your light. That's come up really well. I like the way also the sky connects with the car shadow going down. So we've got the car shadow, all that lovely blue there, bluey green, but that shadow coming down there and it comes in with the mixes with the, connects with the sky. A little bit of white paint there just to define a little bit of light on the very corner of the building. But that light there is fantastic. The whole sky, brilliant. Likewise with me, you've got a little bit of a light border around the church. Maybe you could have gone that. See that darkness there? That's the right kind of value, I reckon, for the sky. So go a little bit further up to the right. Perspective is brilliant, really well drawn. The church, you spend a lot of time with the side details of the church. The shadows coming out from here, lots of nice soft edges. The two figures, male, female figure, walking towards us, nicely done. Yeah, beautiful scene. Nice, and it's got a nice balance of edges, I reckon, this one. Yeah, what a Mike. And Min. Nice composition. I quite like the way you've lost the buildings and objects around the top edge, the top part of the scene. So we can't see, for example, anything above that line. It's all shrouded in the darkness. Likewise on the right-hand side here. It's all in the dark. We don't need to. We don't care what's involved there. We're more concerned with our focus there. Maybe a little bit too light there, I reckon. It's sort of, my eyes are slightly diverted there, but in the middle here, this is brilliant. You've got a good range of values, lovely dark. You've gone darker on the horizon. You've gone a little bit lighter towards the top right corner, and also slight feeling of those lines in the sky, which I think is quite nice. It sort of mimics the lines here. Perspective-wise, yeah, we haven't quite got it with these two lines here. We need to make them narrower in distance and wider down here. And then likewise that one, narrower and then coming out. Figure is good. Try and connect the shadow a little bit more to the bottom of the figure. So we'd have more of the figure shadow there coming up to the little sort of gutter, the edge of the pavement, and then it reconnects with the shadow there. Try and go a little bit softer with try and go a little bit softer with the shadow of the figure, particularly the end of the figure's shadow. All right. Lovely church as well. Maybe the church tower could be a little bit wider. Yeah, it's got a lot of atmosphere about it. Well done, Min. Thank you. Nick. Good composition. Nice composition. Nighttime sky, very good. You've got the glow around. I think you've used my method for doing the light. That's come out really well. And the bracket as well. Church, brilliant. Sky, lots of colours in there. Also, darkness in that top right corner, going a little bit lighter. Down towards the horizon, you've got in three windows, nice bit of negative painting around the light window frame. Could have gone a bit darker with the foliage, and maybe use a bigger brush, I reckon, with your foliage there. Go darker. And don't overwork it too much. Yeah, maybe a bigger brush. All right. Figure's good. Yeah, nice bit of lightness around some of the detail of the clothing. Good bit of movement. Shadow coming out. Perspective is very good. Shadow-wise, I like that shadow there. That's got a nice bit of perspective about it, that shadow coming out there. And, this thing that watercolor does, all these little blooms and cauliflower shapes, brilliant. Bottom right-hand corner, I reckon that edge could be maybe just a little bit softer, possibly. Yeah, but I like it. It's a really nice nighttime scene. Really well done with that light source, though. Right, thanks, Nick. And next one, Nino. Right, Nino's lively style of nighttime scene. Very atmospheric, composition-wise, good. With the church, you've gone with a perspective of the church. Yeah, perspective. Right, church. Maybe we need to come up a little bit with the church. Okay, we've got a horizontal base, but go up a little bit with the church roof, and then these two things here, trying to make them wider down here. Just watch the overworking a little bit with the shadows there, and also shadows are a little bit too black, a little bit too sort of charcoaly black. So if you are using black, Nino, I would add in a bit of a colour to that as well, a little bit more water as well, and go a bit more solid, a little bit darker, a bit more solid with the foliage of the tree. Nice figure. That's a brilliant figure. Really good, nicely placed, good size to it. With the planter, go a little bit more shadow on that right hand side, shadow there. Yeah, so a little bit too grey with the shadow. You've added a bit of colour into the sky. You've decided to go yellow, a bit of a hard edge around that. So I probably would go a little bit lighter for that light source. Try and get a soft edge, but you've got a bit of colour into that nighttime sky, a bit of blue there. Yeah, a bit of blue in that top left corner. Yeah, so add a bit of colour into your darks. Thanks, Nino. And Nydia. Nice composition. Perspective is really good. Lovely glow around that night. Your sky, let me zoom into the sky. That should just come out a bit. Maybe with the church, the point of the church is right on the top edge of the paper. Maybe you could do a barb and move it up a little bit, or just imagine it being a little bit further away. So there's a tiny bit of a gap there between the top of the steeple and the top of your paper, but the perspective is fantastic and this nicely drawn. The colour of the church as well, love that. Lovely yellow. Nice sky, nice execution of the sky. The building on the left, that is just the right colour. That sort of stony colour. Edge of the tree there, fantastic. The bush here as well. The figure, just the right size, nicely proportioned. Bit of movement coming towards us. Shadow coming out. Yeah, really good. Well done, Nydia. Ravi. We've got two Ravis. Ravi B. Right. Oh, you moved the figure up. That's actually a good place for the figure. Right. Nice composition. And you've moved the figure and you move the car pointing towards us. That's nicely done. With the church, maybe the church is a little bit too low like someone else's. So move the church a little bit higher up so that the bottom, let's just think about this. So the bottom of the church is there. And then, yeah, move the whole thing up a little bit more. Nice sky. Brilliant sky. Soft edge there. Fantastic. Window, light source as well. With the figure, I'd be tempted to a little bit of white gouache on the top there. All right, and a little bit of shadow, a little bit of highlight to the shoulders as well. And then going down to the car. Car's nice. That's really well. It's a difficult angle to do a car like that. Looking at the corner, that angle, it can be quite tricky, but it's nicely done. Nice little bit of light, reflected light on the shiny bodywork. But maybe we could go darker, a little bit darker with the windscreen, and a little bit darker this side of it. But going back to the use of some white paint. A little bit of white paint over the top there, where you've got the light coming down, shining a bit of light there, and that would show up there and define it nicely. Maybe a little bit on the back edge. Yeah, across the top of the roof and then just down that back edge a bit. Left-hand side, fantastic, lovely stone colour. The tree. Yeah, nice greens. Your greens are getting a lot better. Convincing foliage colour. The perspective, yeah, perspective's all right. There, left and right. Yeah, thanks, Ravi. And Robbie. Nice composition. Oh, I do love that sky. Look at that blue. A bit of movement in the sky. It's not a flat wash. There's clouds up there. That glow around the light source, really nice, and nice sort of yellowish glow to that. Not sure if you've used a bit of gouache or something like that, but however you've done that, excellent. Yes, gorgeous colour for that sky. The church is nicely done. Not sure about the steeple roof. You've got it coming out a little bit there, but not there. So without having to without going back to the source photo, maybe the church roof would look just a little bit better if it came down like that. So we'd lose that bit on the right, if you see what I mean. Building on the left, fantastic, lovely stone colour. Dry, look at this lovely dry brush mark, exploiting the texture of the paper, going a little bit thicker there, lovely. The greens of the tree, soft edge, again going in slightly opaque. The shrub down in the bottom left corner, brilliant. Figure, fantastic. Yeah, walking away from us, left to right, steps. Maybe the shadow of the figure might be a little bit too wide. Not sure. Is it a little bit too wide? Just here, down below the gutter. And also the planter there, nicely showing up. Light against. You've gone really dark with the sky around there, but nicely showing up against the darkness of the sky. Yeah, super scene. Thanks, Robbie and Sandra. Nice composition. Perspective very good. With the sky, could we have gone a little bit darker with the sky? But the way you've done your light, that's fantastic. That is so good. Yeah. Maybe could have gone a little bit darker with the sky. But perspectives come up really well. The tree on the left, fantastic. Could have gone a little bit darker, maybe, but lovely. Shaped the tree and the edge around that tree as well, the foliage. Figure is brilliant. Walking away from us, bit of an emblem on the hoodie. The planters as well. Right, let's look at shadows. Yeah, you've got that's a nice shadow there coming out from the figure. And that edge there as well, Sandra. Yeah, brilliant. Fantastic. Thanks very much, Sandra. And Saro. Nice, bold, crisp watercolor. Good range of values. Nice composition. Perspective is very good. Love this angle here. You've got more kind of vertical on that bit there. That works out really well. Nice glow around that light. The foliage, top left corner, whatever brush you use there. Have you used a little rigger brush or something like that to get those thin sort of wispy bits of foliage coming out from the canopy? Very effective. Figure, nicely done. Maybe the shadow could be a little bit longer of the figure where it is there. Maybe the shadow could possibly come to there, I reckon. And then the shadow coming out from that planter comes down, and then I would continue out at that angle there. Your shadows come out, and then it's sort of gone down. I need to think, how would that work? The planters are brilliant. I love the green. Yeah, the church as well. It really stands out against the darker sky. Nice bit of texture in that sky, though. Yeah, well done, Sarah. And Susan, very lively. I do like that sky. Nicely done. Have you gone a little bit sort of line and wash here? Tiny bit. Looks lovely though. The brush marks, the use of the transparency of watercolor, fantastic. The glow around, well, the glow of the street light there, very effective. Not sure about this little bit of gouache down the figure there. I don't think we need it, to be honest with you. And likewise, a little bit of gouache on the sides of the planters, but yeah, don't think we need that. Yeah, but lovely brush marks with your brush, the watercolor, the transparency of the watercolor, like in there, that lighter color, that darker brown, green there, lighter color, edge of the shadow. Nice glow of the church and nice detail with your, I guess with your pen, you've defined that the side of the church details a little bit more. Yes, really, I would say exploiting lots of different watercolor techniques, but particularly the transparency of watercolor on that one. Yeah, well done, Susan. Tony, I immediately go to your figure. You've captured that figure perfectly. A slight lean, maybe hands in the pockets, the hooded figure walking away. Nice perspective. With the light, it looks like, I think they're like a few others. I don't think we need the detail of the light. I think it would look better maybe without. It looks like there's a light behind. This light's off, but there's another light source behind, if you see what I mean. But other than that, it's come out really well. And also that edge, that jagged edge there. And then the second ring as well comes out a little bit there, out a little bit there, out a little bit there. Before we got the darkness of the sky. Church, beautifully painted. Nice crisp edges, nicely done with the steps, the raised terrace there in front of the municipal building. The way that you've defined the light hitting the side of that bush and the plant with a bit of a curved edge. The detail on the building as well, nicely observed. The secondary window there, foliage of the tree. With the perspective, maybe could have gone a bit wider down here, Tony, just a little bit wider with the detail of the stonework coming out. But I like that. That's worked well. These little lines in there, just to the left of the figure. Yeah, brilliant. Well done, Tony. And Wojciech, beautiful painting. I do like your sky. The way that you've got the light source there, Wojciech, and also a little bit of splattering there as well. Very well drawn. Perspective is brilliant. I can't. Not as if fault is the right word. I can't criticize at all. The perspective is brilliant. Maybe could have gone a bit darker with this edge here. It's so well done. I like the detail of the little sort of indentations there as we go down the cornerstones of the building. Foliage, the tree, the shrub at the bottom. Maybe could have gone a little bit darker. More solid down there. Perfect figure. Maybe the head, possibly the head just a little bit too big, tiny bit too big. Also try and connect the figure with the shadow just a little bit more. But everything else fantastic. The sky, dark up there, nicely executed. The church, brilliantly drawn and painted with that perspective as well. The building in the middle with the chimneys. Yeah, well done, Wojciech. So thanks very much, all of you, those of you who attended. Hopefully catch up with you on the next one, which is going to be fiendishly difficult. We're back to some of our more... We never like easy ones, do we? So catch up with the next workshop. You can get details of the workshop from my website or my event website or down below. But thanks very much to those of you that sent in their paintings, and I'll catch up with you very soon on the next tricky workshop.